الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على نبي المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ربنا زدنا علما. Subhanallah, can you believe that we are actually in Juz 26? Okay, and this Juz is packed with incidents from the Sirah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Usually we have been talking about other prophet stories, right? But this Juz is going to be full of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's Sirah. Of course, in the beginning, remember when we were talking about the battle of Badr, and then we spoke about battle of Uhud also, and then we spoke about battle of Trench too in Surathul Ahzab. Okay. Now from here onwards, there are other incidents that we'll be talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
So now the first surah is Suratul Ahqaf. Aisha, you have memorized this surah, right? How about you? Okay. You finished this just, right?
We're doing Surah Ahqaf.
Yeah, first is Suratul Ahqaf, and this surah was revealed during Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's return from Taif to Mecca. So
Was it the...
to give a history, okay, to give the background, what happened was after the death of Abu Talib and Khadija radiallahu anha, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam knew that okay, now things are going to get more difficult, challenging, harsh for the Muslims, and the person who protected Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was Abu Talib, had passed away, right? Had died. So now he knew that he has to look for protection and he has to look for support outside of Mecca.
So, like, if this is the time where he's trying to like look for a place where he could spread Islam and like go and stay. Like, how would he find Medina?
Exactly.
Didn't
So
he have Abu Bakr?
yeah, Abu Bakr was there, but Abu Bakr is not like one of the elderly Quraysh leaders. Okay, so and Abu Bakr radiallahu anh is a Muslim. Okay, he needed protection from somebody who was like one of the chiefs of the Quraysh, and so when he knew that there's nobody going to be in Mecca for him, he decided that he was going to go outside to Taif, because Taif also had distant relatives of the Quraysh. After the Quraysh, the next biggest tribe, or the prestigious, like well-known tribes were in Taif, Banu Thaqif. Yeah.
Did Allah tell him to go to Taif, or did he just make the...
Of course, everything is by the permission of Allah for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's not explicitly mentioned. Okay, and then so what happens is, so he goes to Taif. What happens in Taif? Do the people accept him?
No.
No. Instead, in fact, the opposite happens. They even tell their kids to run behind Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and throw rocks at him, and they throw it at him, and it hits him, and his legs bleed to the extent that his shoes get smeared in blood. Okay, so he faces
Really
that.
sad because the kids do it, right?
Yeah, and actually about this incident, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam later on tells Aisha radiallahu anha. Aisha radiallahu anha was too small to witness all this and to remember all this. So later on, when the Muslims did not win in the battle of Uhud, and Aisha asked, "This is the saddest day of your life?" And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "No, what happened at Taif was, more sad for him." Okay, because he felt, betrayed and dejected and rejected, and he had nowhere to go. Okay, whereas Uhud was like after Islam was starting to flourish and establish itself in Medina, right?
And one of the things is that he made dua for all those children, and later on, all of them became Muslim.
They become Muslim. Exactly, that's what happens. So at that point, before we get to that point though, over there he's so sad and he actually makes dua to Allah. Oh Allah, to you I complain of my weakness, little resource and lowliness. Like he's feeling so sad at that point. And then he's making dua, oh Rahman, like oh most merciful, you are the Rabb of the weak, and the only, if you are happy with me, then nothing matters. And then he takes refuge in Allah, and basically, he asks for his problems the darkness to be taken away. And he says that even though I'm in such a bad situation now, if you're pleased with me, that's enough for me. Okay? And he says there is no power, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There's no power and might except yours. And at that time when he's making dua and sitting, actually the angel comes, okay, and tells him that, do you want this nation to be destroyed?
Yeah.
Like how the nations before were destroyed. And that's when he says what Asma said, that no, if, from these people, I expect that Allah will create people who will worship none but Allah. And later on, after Islam becomes victorious in Mecca, the people of Taif also accept Islam eventually. Okay, so that's what happens. And even in this sadness, okay, Allah is telling how in this surah, what will happen is when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is dejected and making dua, okay, and there were jinn between the two mountains. Remember, Taif is like in the valley. So there were jinns who actually heard Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's da'wah, okay, and his conversation, and the jinn will actually go and tell their people, the jinn's people, about Islam, and they will accept Islam.
Oh, wow.
So even in this situation where human beings rejected him, Allah, because
that's how there's some Muslim jinn.
yeah, that's how there's some Muslim jinn as well. Okay, so that's how Muslims will, jinn from the some of the jinn will accept Islam. So Allah is telling Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like it's comforting for him, right, when he knows that jinn accepted Islam.
Someone.
Yeah, and that's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is called as Rahmatan lil Alameen. Like he is mercy for the human beings and the jinn, for both the worlds. Yeah.
So, like when I was doing this part of the Surah in Safari class, it said that how the Quraysh were trying their best to stop Muhammad from preaching to anyone, but it shows how little power the Quraysh had, because who can stop a
The
jinn?
jinn, exactly. They're not even expecting that. Okay, and also to the believers, to the people of Quraysh, Allah is telling how Allah in this surah, Allah is reminding how the story of Ad, where Hud alayhi salam will be sent, Prophet Hud alayhi salam are sent to them. Okay, and these people are called as the residents of Ahqaf. So, for the people of Saleh, we call them Thamud, and we also learned that they are also called as Ashab al-Hijr, the people who hijr the rocks, the mountains, the people who make from the mountains their homes, right? And the people of Ad is also called the people of Ahqaf. قومه بالأحقاف. Ahqaf means sand hills. So they used to make their houses from the sand hills. So they are called people of Ahqaf. Yeah.
Do we know where Thamud lives?
I remember watching a video where they showed where all these places could possibly be.
Because if it's not like for sure, I learned in history that in America there were mountain buildings and cliff dwellings.
Definitely prophets would have come here too, but this is in like closer to the Middle East area. Okay, I don't remember exactly where. One of them is actually in Saudi Arabia itself, in that like the Middle East area. That okay. So Allah is telling the story of these people, the Ad people, where Prophet Hud was sent to, but they rejected Prophet Hud. Okay, as an example to show the Quraysh what happened to them because of them rejecting the truth. So basically what will happen is rain clouds start gathering and coming down, and even at that point the people of Ad will be like, oh, we are going to get some rain. But what will end up happening is it will become like they are actually going to get violent wind, very violent wind, and Allah, that's how their nation is destroyed.
They just die, right?
Yeah, yeah, because of the wind. Okay, so that's what we are covering from this surah. And then now the next surah is Surah Muhammad. Okay, in Surah Muhammad, this Surah Muhammad okay, the next surah is Surah Muhammad. Okay, Surah Muhammad was revealed after the Hijrah, but before the Battle of Badr. Okay, so now they are at a point where they have escaped from the worst, right? Things were very bad in Mecca, right? And now things are like the Muslims are starting to grow and establish themselves, right? So it's natural for the Muslims to kind of start relaxing, right? So when I read a lot of these ayahs, I felt like Allah is reminding them that okay, no, don't relax. You still have to, be active and work hard and
Relaxing meaning like in Islam?
take things easy. Like no, not in their practice of Islam, but in general, you just start becoming more. You can't call them laid back, of course. They're Sahabas, but they have escaped from the worst. From there, things were different for them, right? They always had to be like on the move. They always had to be prepared, right? So now it's easy for them to kind of, relax. Oh, Alhamdulillah, we have a good place. People are accepting Islam. The challenges have not started from the Quraysh, right? All that. It's during that time, okay? So Allah is reminding them, oh believers, if you help the cause of Allah, He'll help you and establish your feet firmly. Okay, Allah is reminding them that no, you have to remain firm. Increase your steadfastness, all those things. They are not becoming lazy in their practice of Islam, but you get the point, right? They have escaped from the worst situation, right? And then also Allah is reminding them that now if you need to keep growing as a nation, Allah is inviting and encouraging and telling the people, you need to spend for His sake. Meaning there are going to come a lot of challenges. You have to spend from whatever, like at the max. Like you have to spend more. No, not for zakah, but like for example, when battles come, you have to be willing to give it your all. Whether it's spending from your money, spending from your energy and efforts. And remember, even the Ansar, right? Even they have to start like supporting, right? All those things. And then Allah is also with that, Allah is tying that theme to how Allah will surely admit those who believe and do good deeds to garden beneath which rivers flow. Okay, and then Allah is giving a description. مثل الجنة التي وعد المتقون فيها أنهار من ماء غير آسن. Okay, so Allah is giving a description of the paradise which the righteous have been promised. It has rivers, the waters of which will never change in taste or smell. Over here Allah is describing the water that will never change in taste or smell. Then rivers of milk whose taste never changes. In this world, if you keep milk outside, it goes bad. Over there, there'll be rivers of milk, and that it'll be pure and
It'll taste
clean.
good.
Yeah,
It'll taste
it
like
won't
how
go bad.
you want it.
Yeah, and then Allah is talking about the rivers of wine. It'll be so delicious to those who drink, and in another ayahs we know that wine won't go bad. Okay, then Allah is telling about rivers of honey that will be pure and clear. And over here, honey is very sweet and nice, but it can be sticky and annoying, right? In Jannah, those rivers will be
Imagine swimming in honey without getting annoyed.
exactly, and you can swim in the wine and the milk and the water. Yeah. What
You
is
could
that?
Another thing is,
what you want.
like since I've been in Jannah, like when I'm in Jannah, I have rivers of juice and things like
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
But now seeing that it's actually there in the Quran, it's just so like.
Yeah. Allah knows what human beings will like. So that's what Allah is
You'll
promising
be
us.
like, I want, because we like all these juices and different
Candy
things.
and yeah.
We don't have rivers that are anything but water, right? So-
Yeah. And then Allah is also telling in it they'll have all kinds of fruits as well, and on top of all that, and actually more important than that, Allah is saying as well as forgiveness from their Rabb. Okay, all this is there, but the best part is forgiveness from the Rabb.
And like actually knowing that Allah is pleased with you for like whatever you do.
Yeah, Allah is pleased with you. Okay, and so the surah then ends by Allah saying, "We shall put you to test So Allah is reminding them again that, okay, you're thinking things are going well now for you. Allah is reminding them that we shall put you to test until we make evident those who strive their utmost and are patient among you and test your words and deeds. So Allah is reminding them that, no, this is not over. The test will keep coming to see who is striving more, who is the most sincere, who is coming forth in every cause for the sake of Allah in the forefront. Okay? And then Allah is saying, "O believers, obey Allah and obey His Rasul. Do not let your deeds come to nothing." So they have been doing so many things. Don't let it go to waste by now, like, slacking or discontinuing. Okay? Those who disbelieve and obstruct the way of Allah and die while they are still disbelievers, Allah will never forgive them. Therefore, do not be faint-hearted, crying for peace. So see, now they are thinking that, okay, we moved, we might be, like, they escaped from the persecution in Makkah, they're just going to have peace. So Allah is reminding that, no, it's not time yet. The time has not come yet to just wish for peace. And for you will surely gain the upper hand. Like, inshallah, it will come, but it's not there yet. Okay? Allah is on your side and will never let your deeds be wasted. And of course, we know that after that, the Battle of Badr and all those things will eventually.
When you said this, I just remembered that, like, a lot of times we think that the only person who struggled for Islam was Muhammad Sallallahu, of course, like, he's a prophet.
Yeah, but the Sahabas also.
Sahabas put so much.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So then Allah is saying that Allah is on your side and will never let your deeds be wasted. And this is, of course, a reminder for us too. Okay, all these things that we are mentioning is a reminder for us too. That till our death, we can't think that, oh, we did this one big deed, so now we can stay relax or whatever. Of course, we are humans. We can take a break, but then it should not continue. Okay, we should always think of, okay, what can I do next? What can I do next? Okay.
You shouldn't think like, I did this big good deed, and now I just won't do any good deeds or bad deeds till I die, so that I can.
Yeah. And then Allah says, the life of this world is but a play and amusement. Allah is telling that this world is mata al hayat dunya, like, it's temporary, it's just play and amusement. If you believe and follow the way of piety, the real thing is in Jannah. He'll grant you your rewards. Okay? And again, Allah reminds not to be stingy when you spend in the way of Allah. And Allah says that if you spend in the way of Allah, it's not that Allah is benefiting. Allah is not in need of anything. It's you who will benefit. And Allah is telling that if you turn away, meaning if you are not willing to give it your all and some more extra, like not just 100%, but more, then He will replace you by some other people who will not be like you, like somebody better than you. Okay? So that's how the surah ends. Okay. The next surah is Surathul Fath. Okay, Surathul Fath means, oh, by the way, I forgot to say the surah that we just finished was Surah Muhammad. Did I mention that? Oh, okay, Surah Muhammad. And all the ayahs end with lahum, kum. Okay? They all end. When you read this surah, when I was small, I would be like, oh, it doesn't sound like the ayah ended. Because it ends like lahum. Okay, amthalakum, amwalakum. Okay? A'malakum. Memorize. Okay. Now, Suratul Fath. Okay. Fath means victory. And this surah is actually promising Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam of victory. This surah was revealed on his way back to Medina after the Hudaybiyah Treaty. Do you guys know the Hudaybiyah Treaty? Okay, so for Asma's benefit, I'll mention. And Ammar, do you want to listen? So what will happen is, so this is like in the sixth year after Hijri. Okay, almost like in the like towards the end of the 6th year after Hijri, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has a dream. Okay, in his dream he sees that he and the Sahaba are going for Umrah. It's at a time when they cannot go for Umrah, right? Because they are in Medina, they are not, the Quraysh are always trying to fight them. The Quraysh are not going to allow them in, right? But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw that in his dream, And if a prophet sees a dream, it's a
gonna
sign.
And
Yeah.
not only is it like a umrah thing, I mean, the thing that you'll get like a lot of reward for, but he used to live in Mecca, so he'll
Like-
have that yearning to go do it. So
Yeah. No, but this was a sign from Allah that he needs
so
to
that's
do
why
that.
He would have been very
Like-
happy to have.
Yeah.
Like,
So
for
when he had that dream,
example,
it was
Yusuf alayhi salam, his dream came.
exactly, and how Ibrahim alayhi salam saw the dream to slaughter his son. So this was like a sign that you need to go and do it. Okay. So when he sees that dream, he tells the Sahaba, okay, I have seen a dream. We are going for Umrah. Get prepared. So over like 1,400 Sahabas and him, they start to go for Umrah. Okay. And on the way, what happens is the Quraysh are always keeping a watch on them, on the Muslims, right? So the Quraysh, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam also has his people who are going and checking what's going on. So he hears the news that, they're preparing, they're coming to stop him and the Sahaba. So he changes route and he actually goes to Hudaybiyah. Okay, when they reach Hudaybiyah, now they are taking a break to kind of see if they can pass into Mecca and do Umrah without any problem. Okay, so at that point, they stop there, and the Quraysh sent 2 to 3 people from them to kind of negotiate and to ask what's going on. Okay, and the Quraysh also know that the Muslims didn't carry any weapons except for one that every traveler would always carry. So they are not coming for war.
Like they don't have enough for a battle.
Yeah, and the Quraysh know that the Muslims are not coming for war.
Because they're going for
They're going for Umrah.
so
But the Quraysh don't let them in. So then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sends Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anh to Mecca. Uthman ibn Affan, the third Khalifa, to see what's going on. I mean, to kind of talk to them. And then he doesn't come back. So now there's a rumor being spread that they have killed Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anh. So because when they hear that rumor, then it's like, oh, okay, now even though we didn't do anything to them, they have retaliated like this. They have killed one among us, that to one of the senior Sahaba. So let's start preparing for battle. But it was a scary moment because they were not prepared for battle. They are coming here for Umrah. And even the camels that they brought with them, they had kept the niyyah that this is for slaughtering. In Hajj, after Hajj you slaughter, right, Ammar? After Hajj you slaughter, during Eid al-Adha, you slaughter a sheep
And
or
in those
something,
times,
right?
They would like kind of decorate the.
They would
camel.
brand it to show that this is
Yeah,
for
so
slaughtering.
the Quraysh knew that was for.
Slaughtering, yeah. And then,
There was a
so,
sign that-
yeah, there was a sign. So then they are thinking that, okay, now we might have to go into battle. But then eventually Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anh comes back. And so they know that he was not killed. So then there's no battle. But when Uthman ibn Affan comes back with one of the leaders from the Quraysh, Suhail ibn Amr. At that time he's not Muslim, but later on he becomes Muslim. And they have a negotiation. Yes?
is he the one with 2 sons and they become Muslim?
Yeah. Abdullah and Abu Jandal. Right? And then, so now Suhail ibn Amr comes, and then there's a they negotiate, and they write down the conditions of the negotiation. Okay? I don't know why I'm not getting.
Negotiation.
Okay, of the treaty at Hudaybiyah, okay? And in one of the conditions will be that they won't fight with each other, okay? For the next 10 years, we are not going to fight with each other. Then the other thing is, if any Quraysh, anyone from Mecca goes to Medina saying they are Muslim, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has to send him back, but the other way around is okay, okay? Like if anyone from the Muslims go to Mecca, they can go and stay there. Meaning they can leave Islam, the Quraysh will accept them. Yeah?
And this is actually unfair for the Muslims,
Mhm.
but Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, why he agreed is because he knows that.
Yeah, so exactly. And then if the Muslims agreed to this, then the Quraysh are saying that in that case, next year you can come and do Umrah peacefully. The Quraysh will stay away from that area for 3 days. They can come and do the tawaf and they can do the Umrah and they can leave. That's what the treaty was. Now, after the treaty, the Muslims were feeling very sad because it sounds so unfair, right? Everything, it sounds so unfair.
And they got so excited for going for it.
And they were so excited, and now they cannot go for Umrah, and all the conditions seemed very unfair. So the Muslims will say that the Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam will say that we are not going to do Umrah. So now let's just take off our ihram and do the slaughter. Because if you keep niyyah to do Umrah or Hajj and you don't do it, then you have to do the slaughter, and then you just go back. So
in those times, would they like cut
yeah, shave also. Yeah, they will shave their hair also if it's for men. For women, just cut their hair. So when Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is telling them, nobody is doing it because they are feeling so sad to just do it. And then he'll take the advice of Salama and he'll be telling her, Salama is his wife. And he'll say that why nobody is listening. The whole atmosphere was sad, kind of.
Also women.
Yeah, women also were there. And then, so
Salama
Salama will say,
he would also take advice of his wife.
it shows, yeah. So Salama will say, why don't you just do it first, then they'll follow. So then he does it and then everybody follows, but they are not so happy about it. And so when they are returning back like this, they're not so happy, they're feeling sad, it's like they felt defeated. That's when the surah is being revealed. And in this surah,
Surah Ahqaf.
Surathul Fath. Okay, Inna fatahna laka fathan mubina. This surah is was always quoted in Ertugrul, right?
There's another kind called Fath.
Fath,
There's another surah.
like إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح. Yeah, that is إذا جاء another kind. Okay, Allah is promising of a victory for the Muslims, and Allah is telling in ayah number 27, لقد صدق الله رسوله الرؤيا بالحق لتدخلن المسجد الحرام إن شاء الله آمنين محلقين رؤوسكم ومقصرين لا تخافون فعلم ما لم تعلموا فجعل من دون ذلك فتحا قريبا. Allah is saying, indeed Allah did in all truth fulfill the vision which we had shown to the Rasul, because he had the dream, right? Ru'ya means dream. He had the dream that he's going for Umrah. So Allah is saying that Allah did fulfill it. So this is before he fulfilled, Allah is saying he did fulfill, meaning that shows how certain the fulfillment of that dream will be in future. So Allah is giving that promise that no, you will be able to gain victory over Mecca, you will be able to do Umrah soon. And the Muslims were able to do that also.
And
okay?
one thing is,
And Allah is saying in the same ayah that when they are doing it, they'll be fearless and secure to perform Umrah. Like they won't need to have that fear that the Quraysh will attack them or anything. And Allah is telling the way to do Umrah, like shaving their head,
Even before
shaving their head, or
hair.
shaving their hair, and the others will cut their hair and all that. Okay, and then Allah is telling them, Allah knows what you do not know. Like there is wisdom in the way things happen at that point.
Not even prophets knew all of it.
Exactly.
And this actually was just setting up for the ultimate
Makkah Fatah.
Yeah.
And what Allah said comes true. Eventually it leads to that, and eventually even the Hudaybiyah treaty, which sounded like not a good thing necessarily, so much khair will come out of it later on. Okay? Surah that we are doing is Suratul Hujurat. Suratul Hujurat is kind of one of the last surahs to be revealed. Okay? Suratul Hujurat is one of the last surahs to be revealed. It was towards the end of his life, and the topics are mainly akhlaq. That's why the surah is like very important and we need to learn it. Okay, even kids can learn the surah and the tafsir of it. Okay.
Is it a long?
I feel like this
No,
is
it's a
one
short
It has
surah.
18 ayahs.
I can.
What? It has?
18 ayahs.
Oh yeah, it has 18 ayahs. Good. How do you know?
We took a class on this
Oh.
in Ramadan.
Okay, so I'm just going to go over what is being told in the surah. Okay, all the akhlaq topics. Number one, first Allah is reminding that to lower one's voice in the presence of the Prophet. So obviously we are not there, right? Yeah.
Can I say the incident behind this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
But can you say louder?
yeah, so there was like a discussion between two sahabas,
Mm-hmm.
and then it wasn't like they weren't even like arguing like how you would think arguing is like.
Mm-hmm.
They were like very like um, respectful about it, and then when Muhammad ﷺ entered,
Mm-hmm.
they continued, and that's why Allah revealed this. But it wasn't even like really loud or anything,
Yeah.
but still.
But that's how much etiquette you have to keep in front of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
And how we could still follow it is like, especially in the masjid, like little kids shouldn't run around in the prayer hall and there's like.
We are going to go over the other etiquettes, okay, and it's like, one after the other. Number one, do not laugh at someone to degrade them. So do not mock at people, do not make fun of people, do not laugh at people.
Call them names.
Yeah, do not call them names, all those things. That's actually the next one. Do not defame someone through sarcastic remarks. Okay, do not humiliate, don't talk like putting down people kind of tone. Okay?
Like even if you're not meaning to, even if you're just.
Yeah, we have to try it. And this surah, it's very hard to follow, but we have to keep trying to become better in our
even
efforts.
if you get so frustrated.
Yeah. Next one is do not call someone by offensive nicknames, and that includes don't call people by names. Okay. The next one is avoid suspicion. For in some cases it is a sin. Like you cannot just suspect somebody and accuse them of something that they are not doing, right?
Like sometimes you won't see it, but then you have a friend that is just doing it and then you'll follow.
Yeah. Okay. So Allah is telling to avoid suspicion, and how suspicion is a sin. Like you cannot guess what they are doing this
You
or something.
cannot read people's mind.
Yeah, you cannot read people's mind. Then Allah is telling do not spy on one another. Okay, like if somebody is doing something in private, don't go and try to sneak and see what's happening. Okay, how come when we are talking about this surah, everybody's like looking at each other?
Me and Aisha, because we took a class, so we kind of know what happened.
Okay.
And right now for the spying, we always did it in Tracy.
Okay. The next one, you don't do it anymore?
No.
You sure?
I mean, Ahmed does it to
Whenever
Aisha.
my friends came over, we would
Okay.
go and spy.
Now the next one, do not backbite one another. Okay, don't talk about somebody else when they are not present. Okay, and then Allah is ending the surah not ending the surah. Then Allah is telling all mankind is created from one man and one woman, meaning we are all coming from Adam alayhi salam and Hawa, our mother and father, first mother and father. So there is no reason for one person to feel more superior
So we're
over the other.
siblings?
Yes, so there is no reason to feel somebody's just not like that. What I'm meaning is just because somebody is poor, or just because they are from a certain place, or by the color of the skin, or maybe their accomplishments, okay, that doesn't make anybody more superior than another person.
Yeah, because
everybody is one.
Even if you're like if you're the same creation, like it doesn't make sense because you're made out of things.
Yeah, we are all made out of clay, and then we are all human beings. And Allah is telling that the only way, like the nobility is measured by how pious a person is. That's the only distinction you can make. Okay. Other than that, there is
in the eyes of Allah, the only difference between
is their nobility.
And also that we as humans can't do for each other. Like we can't.
Yeah, we can't judge. Only Allah knows, right? And then Allah concludes the surah by saying, faith, like having that iman, true faith, it's not just a verbal statement. It has to be in your actions, in your practical life, and like for example, following these, and in general, following the example of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in our words and actions, and yeah, that's how Allah ends the surah. Okay. Now we'll end here today. Actually, there is one more surah. Okay, in this juz, Surah Off. inshallah we'll just do that tomorrow. Okay. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
السلام عليكم.